Okay. There's a good question. Right up. My favorite Disney attraction that I worked on. Some gigantic, mind-blowing thing. The Main Street Fire Engine at Disneyland. Okay, I'll tell you why. How many of you remember Ward Kimball, one of Walt's 9 old men animators? Walt was a good friend of mine a couple of years before I went to the Disney studio. We were all a bunch of car nuts. We were members of the Horses Carriage Club. And these guys all knew one another. Anyway, he called me one day and he says, come on down, I got my 1916 American LaFrance fire engine and I need you to drive it in the parade because he's going to drive the Maxwell fire chief's car. Now, when you get a young guy at that age driving somebody else's historic fire engine, you know you'll never be rich enough to ever have something like that, but I drove it. Forever, I wanted a fire engine. And Walt used to come to my office a lot and just sit and chat and talk about a couple of things. There was a dead second when he said nothing. I says, Walt, we don't have a fire engine on Main Street. And he says, no, Bobby, we don't, because the horse-drawn one was no good. So about 10 minutes later, the accounting department phones up, and the lady says, Bob, write this number down. It's the account number for the new fire engine project. I'm going to get a fire engine. And of record, I was the only person ever talked Walt into a new attraction. Everybody else tried, but I got away with that. Because after we built it, Walt loved to drive it on special occasions because he wanted one if Ward had one. You see the stuff you don't know until you find out later. Okay, who can tell me the last photograph that was taken of Walt in his park before he passed away? Yes, in the back. That's right. It was Walt sitting with Mickey, his buddy Mickey, in my fire engine, and he had that twinkly look in his eye. If he had something nobody else had, that eyebrow went up with that twinkle. That was just solid gold to see somebody want to show off something he had, nobody else had that. Anything in the park was like that. But he was gone a few months later. So that completes the circle of why the fire engine is that important. Okay, Ernie, who's next?
I'm filling in for Ernie. I believe it was this gentleman here with the glasses on his head